But look, what did it take for us to get to the point of an apology? We had to threaten a lawsuit, Jesse. And by the way, we're still entertaining it. We're talking to some of the best lawyers out there that are experts in this. And as you know, these things can be very complicated. There's a lot of facts and circumstances around it. But we're not going to let this go, because you should not be able to smear 5,000 high school and college kids and then just be able to walk away with it.
It is the show that people love to hate.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
They get so much hate watching and hate watching viral clips of them saying ridiculous things. I mean, it is a rabies infested.
Joe Rogan just dropped a truth bomb so brutal it left Sunny Hostin speechless. Jaw, floor, the whole thing. But hold on, it gets wilder. Charlie Kirk is coming in hot with a $100 million lawsuit against The View, turning daytime TV into full-blown courtroom chaos. What just happened on live television has everyone gasping, laughing, and seriously reevaluating their life decisions. Buckle up. This showdown is messier than anyone saw coming.
The reason they felt they needed to do that, Jesse, is because if they told their audience the truth, that when gas is the most expensive it's been, flights are super expensive, that 5,000 kids decided to spend a weekend in summer traveling across the country to go hear from conservative speakers, maybe the audience of The View would think twice about all of their ideas. That's why they felt so compelled to try to smear our wonderful summit this last week.
Yeah, they have nothing else to talk about. Maybe you should get the lawyer that worked on that Covington Catholic school case. What was that, a $200 million settlement?
Just when you think daytime TV has hit peak drama, with celebrity feuds and cringy political hot takes, boom, someone slaps The View with a $100 million lawsuit. Yep, that just happened. Charlie Kirk, the political fire starter who's been making waves for years, dropped the legal hammer in what might be the messiest talk show takedown ever. And spoiler, it got nastier than your uncle's meltdown at Thanksgiving dinner. This isn't just TV drama, it's a full-blown spectacle.
Shift between right and left authoritarianism, and now people don't recognize that if you just stopped looking at it in terms of red and blue, look at the actions, whether it's war, suppression of free speech, pharmacological interventions that are mandatory, whatever it is, that used to all be associated with the authoritative right, the authoritarian right, and now those things are being embraced by the left. And I just think it's just an ideology thing, and I think we get confused and we think we're on the right side. We're on the right side. And if it's our side that's saying this, for sure that's the right thing to do. And no one's critically thinking about this.
Joe Rogan is the gateway drug for young men that thought they were Democrats to become MAGA. Joe Rogan is the bridge. And on that bridge, they'll see RFK. They'll see Elon.
Let's take a moment to appreciate the sheer scale of this. 100 million, that's not, oops, I lost some Twitter followers money. That's start a popcorn empire or fund your own DIY mission to Mars money. But instead of buying a spaceship, Charlie Kirk aimed that colossal summit The View, a daytime talk show known for its whirlwind of hot takes, celebrity gossip, and political commentary that occasionally crashes harder than a drunk uncle at a wedding toast. This isn't just drama. It's daytime TV history in the making.
Charlie Kirk's the founder and CEO of Turning Point USA and the author of the new book, The College Scam. So, Charlie, do you accept The View's apology?
I mean, regardless of whether or not I accept it, the question is, do our students accept it? That's really what's at heart here. They went after our 5,000 students at our event there of high school and college kids. And look, I get attacked all the time. People say false things. I'm a public figure. But when you go after 16 and 17-year-olds that travel from across the country that then have to live for the rest of their life with a shadow over them because someone at ABC says that they might be linked to neo-Nazis.
So, what exactly sparked this legal firestorm? We're not talking about a petty Twitter feud or a meme gone wrong. Nope, this lawsuit allegedly stems from some seriously reckless remarks made on The View, comments that apparently leapt from spicy hot take to full-blown legal disaster. You know how daytime TV can sometimes feel like a chaotic high school lunch table with everyone shouting over each other? Well, this time, all that noise may have crossed the line, straight into lawsuit territory.
Disgusting, gross elitism and her complete out-of-touch nature with respect to the rest of the world. Sunny Hostin goes on The View and decides now would be a great time to dump all over the so-called uneducated.
What we did not have is white women who voted about 52%, right, for Donald Trump. Uneducated white women, is my understanding. You have Latino men actually voting more for him, and you have and black men was not the story. We're not the story here because they voted almost 80% for the vice president.
Right. Just because you didn't go to college doesn't mean you're stupid, and it doesn't mean that you don't have wisdom. You can go to college and get a bunch of irrelevant facts about how men can allegedly give birth or whatever they.
Among the hosts, Sunny Hostin is now under the harshest legal microscope. Known for her background in law and justice, she's usually the panel's voice of reason and authority. But this time, her legal expertise didn't save her from becoming the poster child for what many are calling reckless commentary. While fans expected Sunny to bring nuance and careful insight, she's instead been cast as the prime suspect in a high-stakes case of careless talk. And now she's caught in the crosshairs. Here's where things get deliciously ironic. Joe Rogan, the podcast king famous for diving headfirst into controversy, jumped into this drama like a bull in a china shop. Rogan's brutally honest, no-filter style blends humor, skepticism, and savage roasting. When he focused his spotlight on the lawsuit and Sunny's role, the internet leaned in, anticipating fireworks. But instead of a dry legal analysis or a tame commentary, Rogan unleashed a tidal wave of sarcastic takedowns and razor-sharp mockery. His critique went beyond simply breaking down the lawsuit's details. It was a full-scale demolition of how The View allegedly mishandled the entire situation. Picture a masterclass in public roasting, where every jab cuts through the usual daytime TV fluff and hits right where it hurts. Rogan didn't hold back, turning the whole mess into a spectacle nobody could ignore.
No hate for Joy Behar. If I saw her, I'd give her a hug. I'd probably say the same thing about me if I was her. You're worried about losing your job, and you're worried about podcasts taking over, and who's the source of news, and we said Donald Trump was Hitler, but half the country disagreed with us, and he won, and this is fucking great, and Joe Rogan believes in drag!
Joe Rogan, always the contrarian, didn't just casually side with Charlie Kirk, he went all in, fully endorsing the lawsuit's premise. He framed it as a much-needed wake-up call for a media outlet that seems to treat serious allegations like a noisy shouting contest. If anyone needed a reality check, it was The View, with Sunny Hostin as the poster child for reckless commentary. But how did Rogan deliver this brutal takedown without a face-to-face confrontation or an on-air shouting? Match? Simple. He wielded the power of podcast commentary, massive internet reach, and a razor-sharp sense of humor. Rogan took the alleged facts, dialed up the absurdity, and painted The View as a ticking legal time bomb, a group casually tossing explosive claims like confetti at a New Year's party. Let's break down his masterclass in public roasting. First, he pointed out the jaw-dropping scale of the lawsuit. $100 million isn't some throwaway insult, it's a direct hit to someone's reputation and livelihood. Yet The View's reaction felt almost indifferent, like wild accusations are just part of their daily routine, with zero real consequences. Then came the irony. The View markets itself as a serious platform for informed discussion, but here they were allegedly recklessly flinging damaging claims with no solid evidence or careful thought. It's like a doctor diagnosing a patient based purely on their horoscope, utterly irresponsible and downright dangerous.
That show has this very specific ideological bubble in which they operate in, and they always bring on a token conservative woman and they yell over her and silence her, and they did that with Meghan McCain, and they did that with what is that other blonde woman from Survivor? Do you remember her, Jamie? She was always yelling. I mean, it's a bizarre show. I think the way before you start, I think the way you described it is brilliant. And the way we should all look at it. Of course, you're going to see race. The idea of being colorblind is ridiculous, but treat everybody. They're just human beings. Everybody's just individual.
Not exactly inspiring confidence, Sunny Hostin, with her legal background, was supposed to be the voice of reason, the gatekeeper of sanity. Yet this lawsuit suggests even her commentary crossed into dangerous territory. Joe Rogan didn't hold back, highlighting the irony. The law expert herself is now at the center of a potential legal disaster. It's the kind of irony writers dream of, but rarely gets this much public attention. Rogan's humor dripped with sarcasm as he mocked the show's reckless bravado and the huge gap between their bold claims and the actual facts. He painted The View as a legal minefield where one careless word could spark another lawsuit. What once seemed like fearless, even courageous journalism now looks more like a magnet for legal trouble. What makes this story even more compelling is the potential ripple effect on daytime TV. The freewheeling style that made The View a hit might soon face serious scrutiny. Imagine hosts thinking twice before firing off hot takes because legal fees start stacking up faster than celebrity guest bookings. Rogan's take also points to a bigger media shift. Independent platforms and podcasts are becoming the new gatekeepers of public opinion, often with less filter but way more reach. This lawsuit might just be the beginning of a new era, where the rules of engagement on TV and online commentary are rewritten.
Very strange show, but it's fun to watch. It's just fun to watch them.
It's good entertainment.
Yeah.
Undoubtedly.
Well, they're just, it's interesting because I think Sunny is very intelligent, but she's ideologically captured.
Right.
That's sort of, I think the other ones, there's a couple of the other ones, don't have to name any names, are just very dull-minded. But I think Sunny's not one of them. I think she's smart but captured.
Sure, I think she came into it with an agenda.
Of course. They do everything with an agenda.
When someone like Joe Rogan throws his full weight behind a lawsuit and publicly eviscerates a major TV show's credibility, it's a clear sign the old media guard is losing its grip, or at least facing serious challenges. Rogan's takedown of Sunny Hostin was nothing short of a masterclass in turning legal drama into comedy gold, while exposing the huge cracks in The View's position, like a wrecking ball smashing through a paper-thin wall. Rogan didn't tiptoe into this. He stormed in like a T-Rex wearing a wrecking ball suit, swinging humor and logic with brutal precision. His key points were savage and razor sharp. He zeroed in on how The View, a show that prides itself on serious discussion, had devolved into a reckless rumor mill, throwing incendiary claims about Charlie Kirk without a single shred of evidence. It was like watching someone juggle flaming swords blindfolded. Impressive at first, but disaster was inevitable. Rogan also targeted the glaring contradictions underneath it all. Sunny Hostin, a trained lawyer, should have known better than to make sweeping, damaging accusations on live TV without solid proof. But once the cameras rolled, logic apparently took a coffee break. Rogan highlighted this irony like a stand-up. Comedian calling out a politician caught in a lie. Only this time, it wasn't just funny, it was legally reckless and dangerous.
I had to read the thing about The View because I just thought it was funny.
What's this?
The only reason why I read that about me.
Dragon lover.
Joy Behar was trying to say that I believe in dragons.
Wait, what is this? I just heard about
it. I checked it. And the lady goes, did you double check this? She goes, I checked it. He believes in dragons.
Should be like Sasquatch,
they live alongside of people.
Wait,
it was from a wildlife biologist who came on my podcast. It was from Forrest Gallant. Gallant. How do I say his last name? Great guy. I love him. Yeah. He's awesome. But he was saying.
Then came the sarcasm, and it was pure gold. Rogan painted The View as a bumbling crew tossing reckless accusations like confetti at a New Year's party. Fun at first, but soon choking everyone, leaving someone stuck cleaning up the mess. This wasn't comedy just for laughs. Rogan's humor had a sharp strategic edge. By exposing the absurdity and overreach of both the lawsuit and Sunny's commentary, he flipped the narrative. Suddenly, people began wondering if Charlie Kirk was actually the victim of a reckless media circus, rather than the villain. If The View hoped to appear as champions of truth and justice, Rogan's viral takedown made them look like a legal disaster, waiting to happen. The shift in public perception was clear. Rogan redirected attention from the lawsuit's eye-popping price tag to a deeper question. How responsible are TV hosts when they make serious accusations about public figures? And the irony? A podcast host, often viewed as the Wild West of media, calling out a mainstream show for recklessness didn't escape anyone. It was a perfect storm of media role reversal that left viewers questioning who really holds the power in today's media landscape.
Most important part. This is right after she was saying, we are run by ABC News. You should trust us, not Joe Rogan, who believes in dragons. So she by saying we should trust them because they're double checked by ABC News, and then making the stupidest fucking statement. Like you didn't listen to what I said.
Yeah.
You didn't listen to what the wildlife out, and that's only a part of what he said.
I can't believe
the other
Joy
part of what he
Behar
said
didn't
was
wait.
there was something before that where he was explaining encounters with giant reptiles. And then there's also, listen,
it doesn't make sense to me that a middle-aged woman could be dumb.
When you're worried about losing your job and you're worried about podcasts taking over and who's the source of...
Joe Rogan's savage roast wasn't just entertainment, it was a wake-up call that resonated far beyond the lawsuit itself. This situation shines a spotlight on the bigger implications for daytime TV and public discourse. If this lawsuit sends Nichum Dunda any message, it's that reckless commentary is no longer just a slap on the wrist. The stakes have risen, and legal accountability is becoming very real. Hosts who treat serious accusations like buzzwords on a game show might soon be writing million-dollar checks instead of firing off viral tweets. This clash could force daytime talk shows to completely rethink their approach. The era of tossing around hot takes without fact-checking might be coming to an end. Imagine a world where hosts pause mid-rant, not because of editorial rules, but because their lawyers are breathing down their necks. This lawsuit could act as a regulatory hammer, reshaping how media outlets handle controversy, especially when politics and culture collide like gasoline and matches. But the bigger picture is even more striking. Joe Rogan's role in this drama signals a shift in media power. Independent platforms with millions of listeners aren't just sidelines anymore, they're the main event. When someone like Rogan picks a side, challenges a major TV show, and publicly humiliates a well-known host, it's a seismic moment. It shows that traditional media's grip on influence is weakening, and public opinion is now shaped beyond the usual corporate echo chambers.
Their audience is a group of people they bring in to watch television shows. You know, I don't know if you've ever seen audiences before for TV shows, but a lot of them are paid. They're paid to be there. So because they have to guarantee that there's going to be people there. So there's services that you hire. And when a show gets really, really popular, you know, like Letterman or something like that, obviously it has its own fan base.
Right.
Those people will try to get tickets before anybody else does. And in that case, they probably don't need to use a service anymore. They just get actual fans. But arguably, like the real fans of The View that are like, oh, these ladies are on point. Most of those people can't leave the house. Like they're probably immobile.
Right.
Now, here's the kicker. Will this lawsuit backfire? Lawsuits of this size and scope are like high-stakes poker. Sometimes you bluff, sometimes you go all in, and sometimes you lose everything. If the View's team overplayed their hand, this could inspire others to file legal actions against reckless commentary, potentially sparking a flood of lawsuits that might chill free speech. On the flip side, if Charlie Kirk's lawsuit falters, it could discourage others from standing up. To powerful media giants, allowing reckless talk to run rampant without consequences. Either way, the delicate balance between free speech and accountability is about to get way more complicated and way more interesting. So, what's next in this unfolding saga? Legal experts predict new filings, countersuits, and maybe even surprise witnesses or explosive documents that could blow the whole case wide open. Social media will be buzzing nonstop. Independent voices will dive in, and the fallout could reshape how we consume and trust daytime TV. One thing is clear, this isn't some quiet, behind-the-scenes settlement. It's a sprawling, juicy battle, packed with twists and turns that will keep everyone hooked. Will The View learn a harsh lesson about media responsibility? Will Joe Rogan continue flexing his media muscle and redefine what accountability looks like? Or will this spiral into an epic saga that rewrites the rules of daytime talk forever? So far, The View and Sunny Hostin have stayed silent. An unspoken message all on its own, while Charlie Kirk's lawsuit quietly gains momentum. This isn't just about money. It's about holding public figures and media outlets accountable. If they realize reckless words can cost tens of millions, maybe they'll start playing it smarter. Or maybe things will only get louder and messier, turning every lawsuit into the next big reality TV spectacle. What happens next? Will this lawsuit force The View and similar shows to rethink their approach? Will Rogan's savage takedown inspire a wave of fearless commentary from independent voices? Whatever unfolds, one thing's for sure. Daytime talk just got a whole lot more compelling. If Joe Rogan can publicly humiliate a seasoned legal commentator, like Sunny Hostin while backing a high-stakes lawsuit, the game has changed, and it's only just beginning. Think daytime TV is just polite chit-chat and celebrity gossip? Think again. The stakes are sky high, the punches are landing hard, and the courtroom drama might be the most gripping show on air, without a single live face-off. Stay tuned. This story isn't over, and you definitely want to be here for every savage moment.